Welcome to Life at the Deep End. We are your hosts, Jordan Bone
and Samantha Bromfield. After facing challenges of our own, we wanted our voices to be heard, to authentically share not only our stories and experiences, but life lessons we are learning along the way.
to show you that despite any struggle you may face, life can be fulfilling and amazing, because ultimately, you are the creator of your reality.
You may often feel alone, but we are here to confirm that you are not.
So let's dive into the deep end.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode. As Jordan is unable to join us this week, I have with me Sasha and Pete from Peepo Prints, a new startup business that specialises in artwork for nurseries that come with a story to share with your little ones. In this episode, we find out not only more about this family-owned brand, but how they overcame the fear of putting their work and themselves out there, navigating social media, and advice they would give to others to chase their dreams. Today we have with us the co-founders of Peepo Prints, Sasha and Pete. Welcome to Life at the Deep End, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good, thank you. So as mentioned in the intro, it's just me and these two with us today. So I thought a good place to start would be at the beginning. Let us know what Peepo Prints is. How was the idea first thought of?
Which answer?
Yeah.
So I think both of us have kind of always made presents for people. I mean, Sasha's always been painting, and I've always made presents for when my nieces were born, and for different families, whether it's been cards or presents and stuff. And it's just something we've both naturally done. And when, obviously, with everything that's happened this year and with lockdown starting, it kind of became like a little pastime to do, because we have hours in the day where we just sat at home on the sofa while Arthur's sleeping. It just became just something for us to do, really.
Yeah.
And I think if it was me doing it on my own, I'd have still been doing it just for myself, staring at a screen. But because you're
a perfectionist, aren't you? So you would have kept working on them for years rather than actually like sending them out into the world like this new work.
100%. But I think with we just talked about it, really. And we basically created some artwork for Arthur's birthday at the start of the year.
That was probably more my kind of idea, wasn't it? I think I kind of found one picture on Pinterest and then I just went a bit mad and we made like full artwork, our own invites. Like I made
Was it the whales?
Yeah. So it started off with the whale print and the whale story, and we kind of just carried on making them through lockdown. So Arthur's birthday was in February this year, his first birthday, and that's where the first print came from. And then we created a really nice story around it, and that's kind of where the idea for like Peepo Prints and the story that goes along with the print came from. And like Peter said, I think we just found that actually we had a few free hours in the day when Arthur's having like his afternoon nap, for example, and you just really enjoy doing them, don't you? And then we enjoy kind of coming up with really lovely stories for them to go alongside the prints. I think that's really where it came from.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're both just really creative, aren't we? So naturally we spend our time doing things like that. And like you've started like making like storybooks and things like that as well. So we've been doing it for ages. And I think lockdown just meant that it gave us a bit more focus in those times, because I think for a while we just watched that much TV that we needed something else, didn't we?
Yeah.
So I think, if lockdown maybe hadn't happened, maybe this wouldn't have actually happened, because we were so busy like all the time. We were always busy like visiting family and moving around the country, and actually when we were kind of had to be at home for a lot longer, it just gave us a bit more focus, didn't it? We wanted to do something for ourselves.
Gave you time,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's definitely helped us and pushed us to kind of try something new, really, and have a bit of an outlet for it. So
Yeah,
what do you find comes first? Do you tend to think of a story first or design a print first?
Well, I don't know. It's worked different ways, actually, hasn't it? So, like, one of our newest releases is the finding the big five, say, in the park. And that was very much based on going to the park so often in lockdown because there was nothing else to do. So that one was really created from our own kind of experiences. But I think maybe that more of the prints were probably made before the stories, weren't they? And then we wove a story around the print, would you say? Or
yeah, I think I don't know if it's but for anybody who doesn't know it, basically it's a print and then it's a story that goes alongside it. And I think a lot of them have come from like that influences of what we've done, or we've kind of thought, like, for example, we wanted to do one that was around winter, and a lot of it does come from a personal thing where we've been to the zoo and we've always kind of loved watching the penguins, and naturally it's just something that we've gone towards when we thought about winter, or it's just naturally starts to come more than most of the time with the print, and then we kind of think along the story that then helps develop the print as well. So it's a kind of bit of a
it's just a bit of a mixture, isn't it, really? Yeah.
But the idea then, is it so people would have these prints because within like certain stories you've got multiple different prints, they can have them on the wall and tell the story using them?
Yeah, exactly. I think the way we kind of saw it, and the time that we all kind of really sit down and switch off and put our phones down and don't do anything else is really the half an hour in the evening when we sit down with Arthur and read some stories.
Yeah.
And it's the time that we're all together in his room. And it just felt like, well, if you're going to start to put prints in there, we were starting to buy artwork to put in his room. So why can't that tell a story? Why can't that have a meaning behind it? Particularly as kids get older and they start to understand kind of what's on their walls and stuff. And it was just like, it just felt a natural thing to have, that when you look upon this print, and our prints, I suppose, are a bit more descriptive than some others as well, is actually to have a story alongside it is a really nice idea to share, particularly around bedtime.
Yeah, we like reading the stories to him at bedtime, especially. And I think, that's like one of his absolute favourite things to do. So for Arthur, he's very happy with his new story prints, isn't he? I think so. I think that's probably about right.
I suppose then it gives like families the opportunity as well, because it's not this book with black and white words in front of them. They get the story and then they can make it their own as such, like tell it themselves, like voices, characters, however they want to do it. Yeah, it's a bit more bonding, would you say, than like just reading a storybook to Arthur?
Yeah, definitely, because you can make it your own. You can be a bit more creative with it, and then you've almost got that kind of image right in front of you where you can explain what this animal's doing or what that animal's doing. Like most of the prints are based around animals, so we just find that's something that Arthur's always loved, and they're the kind of books that he goes to straight away.
Yeah,
I think like the stories are really important to us as well. So like, since starting this small business, we've kind of been able to connect with loads of amazing people that do loads of amazing work. And just actually like trying to source the right books for Arthur. There's lots of like amazing classics out there, but we've sort of connected with a friend of yours, haven't we, that has his own printing agency, and he just has the most beautiful story prints, and each one kind of has a really important meaning. Like, do you want to say anything more about that?
It is, again, it's just through people we know. So that's, I mean, like yourself, Sam, it's people that we know that have kind of inspired us just to do different things. And like you said, naturally you start to connect with people. And a chap called Sam that I know from working previously just gives some advice around actually how to write stories, the focus of them, and how to kind of convey them and stuff. And it's really surprised us how generous people are, because I think we will both kind of naturally presume that it'd be quite a competitive market, really, because everybody's trying to find their niche, everybody's trying to get people's attention, particularly on social media. But actually, it's not like that.
No, it's like a real community, isn't it? And everybody really helps each other out and kind of bigs each other up. And there's so much like sharing and commenting and everything. And it's a really nice sense of community, isn't it? Like naturally, there's going to be people that do very similar or make very similar products, but actually instead of kind of that competition, everybody's in it together. And I think that's where like the mentality of small businesses is quite different from a much larger corporation, for example.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Sam was helping us do stories. We've got a chap called Jay that I work with now who's helping us just understand Instagram, which is a foreign world to us.
Yeah, neither of us had an Instagram account when we started this, and I thought, do you know what, like, because I had Facebook and I was like, right, we can base this on Facebook, it'll be fine. No, Instagram is where you need to be, and now we are pros, right? We're pros.
I didn't know what the difference between a story and a post was. What hashtag did, anything like that.
So what hashtags are you got going?
I mean, we sound about 60 years old, but we're in our late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, it's not something we've done before. So that was, I think, out of everything, that's been the biggest learning curve. And it's only through the support of people and giving us advice and sharing advice that we've really been able to to even start it, really. I'm not to say that it's like the most successful business, but it's just to get it off the ground. And it was, it's been hard to understand it, but it's been fun as well.
Yeah, I mean, Sam, I asked you numerous questions at the beginning, didn't I? I was like, you're the pro, help us out here.
Really not. Really not. But
you were super helpful.
I guess I at least knew what a hashtag was, I guess, yeah. I was a bit further.
I knew what a hashtag was. I just didn't know quite how many you had to put on a post.
Yeah, I just didn't understand what it did and why you need to include it. I used to look on Instagram whenever I did, and I used to read all the hashtags like it was part of the post.
Oh God.
So it's just a completely foreign world to me, completely. So it's been a steep learning curve. It's been good.
Yeah, I think so.
You said like lockdown was probably the last bit that sort of gave you that push of a bit more time. How's it been then, putting your work out into the world? Like, how has it felt? Because I know, like we mentioned, we spoke to Dale a few weeks ago, and he was really enthusiastic about side hustles and taking that leap. But prime example then of you two that have gone and done that. But then how does that actually feel? Because for a lot of people, I imagine that fear is one of the things that holds them back.
Oh, completely. It's definitely a mixture of every time it's exciting, it's definitely that kind of sense of fear as well. Particularly me, again, I've kind of distanced myself from social media completely. I've never had a presentation on social media. I've very irregularly kind of gone on and just looked at a couple of things, but all to do with sports players or so, like, just things that aren't anything personal at all. And it's definitely always that worry of kind of putting yourself out there to be judged. And I think it's that we were listening to the podcast you guys did with Sarah, and the way she was talking about and how she remembers the first time that she was, I'm trying to work out how she read it now, but the first time that she was called she was fat when she was at school, and how that's really kind of resonated and stuck with her. And when she heard that her daughter had come home and had that same experience, that really resonated in the fact that, I'll be honest, I haven't got the thickest of skin. If somebody says something negative to me, it sticks with me and lingers. Putting yourself out on social media, that was like a thing to kind of be judged straight away, let people judge me. And we've just hit 200 followers. It's not like we're everybody in the world seeing what we're doing, but still it's that putting yourself out there, and anything that you share that's personal, you're kind of expecting it to be judged and things. And it's that side of it is definitely fearful, for sure.
I think it was tough from one side, saying like putting your artwork out into the world, and just, that initial fear anyway, because you put a lot of kind of love and a lot of hard work into each one of these kind of story prints, and then it's the fear of, what are people really going to think? Obviously we do want this to become a business, and it's like, well, are people going to buy these things? Is this something somebody wants? But then on the other end of the spectrum, it's, how much do we show of ourselves on our account? And I think we've learned from, the little bit of research that we have done and looking at what other people do, is that people really enjoy that kind of little insight into your life. And we're just very conscious of how much we kind of show, and like, how much we show our little boy, for example, like on Instagram. And the thing is, we probably get the most likes on those particular posts when his cute little face is there. But yeah, it's being mindful of those things, isn't it? And I think, the bigger you get, the more people are going to see it. And I think that's when you just really need to have like a proper think about how you want to be perceived as well.
What boundaries, you have, because it's natural.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about when we first started posting photos as a family, is that, so together, me and Sash, we're putting ourselves out there. It's our choice to be on there. But Arthur hasn't got a choice. He's not asking to be on there. So we're putting him in that situation. So we just need to make sure that we're both careful of that. And yeah, that's all. We're just trying to be considerate, aren't we? And just making sure that we're showing that side of us as a family, but also not showing everything.
Yeah, because especially the industry that you're in, I think that a lot of people are going to want to buy into you as a family as well, aren't they? Like, it's not only this story print, but like I said, it's not coming from some massive corporate company that are just churning these out on machines, and there's no thought behind them. Like, there's an actual loving family behind these. But completely know what you mean with you need to work out what your boundaries are. And I think the hard thing is, though, that personally, people might argue with me. I don't care what you do or how cool with it you say you are. There is always deep down that bit of you that wants that recognition for your work. And especially when it's on social media, like it says, putting it out there right for everyone to judge it. So I think that it's natural to be a bit scared, you know, that you're putting it out there. But
yeah.
And I've always been that person who's looked for that that kind of positive response from people, just kind of reassure myself.
Yes, reassurance.
Never been that person that's just kind of said, I don't care what anybody thinks, this is what I'm going to do. And
I wish we could be more like that. I wish we could be more like that. You know, every time we kind of put something new out onto Instagram, for example, or we create a new print, it's the fear of what people are going to say, isn't it, really?
Yeah. And I think that's been so heartwarming of the support that we've had, like we said, the support we've had from other small businesses, but equally the support we've had from family and friends.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
I mean, you played a big part in that, Sam, with just the sharing and the liking and the...
I got a badge the other day on Facebook.
I didn't tell you that, did I?
It notified me.
Facebook told Sam that she's our biggest fan.
Oh, yes. It said, you are a top fan of Peepo Prints. Would you like to display your badge? I was like, damn straight.
I love it.
That's good. I've never had a biggest fan. That's good. Thanks.
We've never had a biggest fan. But no, I think, yeah, like you say, like the small businesses, but like the friends and family that have supported us through it, and like just that really lovely, like positive feedback every time. I mean, they might be completely lying, but we're taking it in, we're enjoying it.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's really good.
Yeah.
And I thought that's why it was great to have you guys on here, because one, they're amazing prints, and then everyone can go check them out, and it's just in time for Christmas. Cough, cough. But also, like, it fits into the theme, like I said a few weeks ago, that we had with Dale around, like, going for something that you are passionate about. And like you both said, you're both really creative people, and this idea, correct me if I'm wrong, it didn't stem from, right, how can we make money fast, and we don't care about it. It came from something that you both were passionate about, you both had an interest in, that it was a hobby that you could kind of build into something else. And so for everyone listening, I know we had a lot of feedback from Dale's where people were like, oh, okay, you know, I might dip my toe in the water and I might give it a go. And especially with lockdown, the first one, there was a lot of, you know, it's okay to just survive it, and it is, and we're not definitely saying otherwise. But if you can take a situation where you're dealt a bit more time or whatever it might be, if it gives you that time to then explore something that you have an interest in, then you might just end up with your own Peepo Prints. Like, you're sort of living proof of being like, right, sod it, we're gonna do it, we're gonna launch it, the time is now.
I think you're spot on. It's finding what's right for you. I mean, with exactly like that, we know people, and we've talked about it already, we know people that have started their own thing, and it definitely gives you that feeling of, oh yeah, I'd love to do that. But the people that I know create some amazing businesses, but I'm not that cool to be able to make something like that, or that's not my kind of passion. And it was just finding what you kind of wanted to do, really. That it's not making, because it can, and I think we felt it a couple of days, particularly with like the posting constantly and the trying to get things done to hit deadlines. You don't want it to feel like a chore. You don't want it to feel like another job, because we spend too much time at work anyway. So you want it to be something that you enjoy doing, that actually when you do switch off from your day jobs, that actually you think, oh great, we get to spend an hour doing a print now, or we get to spend half an hour posting something, or actually what's this room set going to look like? We can really show this print off. And it needs to feel that fun thing that you want to do, because I mean, we're not selling a print every day, so actually we still need to have that personal motivation to keep going, don't we?
Yeah, definitely. And I think, like you said, it's because it's something that we both are really enjoying doing every day, that it doesn't make it feel like another job.
Yeah.
It can be tough. Like, you know, we've got a toddler at home, so like we've worked a full day, but he's full of energy.
Yeah.
Once we put him to bed, that's when we kind of pick up the Peepo Prints work. So as much as it's like an amazing thing to do, we do sometimes have to motivate ourselves to do it. But I think we're doing it because we really love it. And, you know, it becomes like not a job at the end of the day. And, you know, every single time someone does order a print, that little caption that you've probably heard a million times of they do a little happy dance, is so true. It's so true. I think just starting this business is just, like I said earlier, like made us realize how many amazing small businesses are out there that I feel really stupid now, like that we were so blind to these businesses being out there. And like, it's just amazing to know that you're helping out like a small family, for example, like, you know, just a one person band that's, you know, brought this amazing business together, and like everything's homemade, handmade. It's just so nice to think that you can buy from those people and really make a difference to their lives, for example, like rather than buying from a much larger shop. Yeah, I just think we don't want to make it feel like a job, do we? And it's something that we really enjoy doing at the moment, and we just need to keep that motivation.
Yeah, completely.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
I suppose I've kind of I said co-founders. I've kind of chipped Arthur out of the scene here. I don't know what it would be if it was three of you. I don't know would it still be co-founders? No.
Yeah.
I don't know what it would be if it's three people.
Full founders.
Yeah, I don't know. I
don't think that's the word.
Art is a really big part of it, because obviously these prints are kind of aimed towards like being able to put into your nursery and read to your children. And obviously prior to having Arthur, I don't think it would have really crossed our minds to do that. But now we see the importance of the kind of things that you're reading to your children and how like important that is to them, and like their learning and things.
But we've seen firsthand how important it is, like you said, for reading, because anything he sees in a book is then he starts to recognise when we go outside. So like, for example, when we go to the park, it's only through reading the books that he's been given and seeing the animals in the books and pointing them out and that kind of repeating and actually starting to learn what they are and actually say the names and stuff, that he then recognises when we go outside. Is you start to see how important it is to kind of share those stories and to read those books with him.
Yeah, and although I think like from a practical term that's like really great, but I think he's a little bit young at the moment because he's not even 2, but like the stories that we're telling, we just feel like are really nice kind of stories of like friendship, unity, and like just hope in general, like trying to weave a really nice story rather than one that's just kind of a little bit more standardized, I guess.
And as well as that, it's engaging, isn't it? As well as the actual like underlying story of it, you're engaging with him far more than you would just
definitely
read it.
Yeah, it's like I said before, when we are reading together, we're all kind of in. He's got 100% attention. We're not thinking about, okay, we need to go and do this, we need to do that. It's the time that we all get to spend together. We all get the most out of it, I think.
Yeah, like proper family time, isn't it? And it's what he enjoys doing the most. And you know, when he comes out of nursery, for example, the nursery staff will be like, he didn't stop reading today. And I like to think that has something to do with us and like how much time we kind of spend with him sitting and reading. Yeah, I think it's really important, isn't it? And I think it's just a really nice accompaniment to have like the artwork that goes alongside it.
Have you got any advice then that you'd give people that might be sort of lingering on a idea that they've got in the back of their brain?
I think you just it's easy to say you just got to go for it, but like I think if we hadn't, to be fair, I would say, like we said at the beginning, you would probably still be happily working on these prints, like not even thinking about it. You kind of need to be able to like motivate yourself to get it out there. And I think that's very much me going, come on, let's do it. Let's get this out. Let's do this. It's like keep developing the idea. Yeah.
I mean, it sounds really cheesy, but I don't think we would have done this if we hadn't had the support of each other. You know what I mean? So to be able to say to somebody on their own thinking of starting something, just do it. I think you need somebody there to support you, whether it's just showing somebody something and getting their opinion or just getting some advice or whatever it is. And I think that's really helped us.
Yeah, like you said, like friends and family especially. Like if you're unsure about anything, then anyone that you can rely on. Yeah, getting that kind of second to look at it would probably be really beneficial as well.
Yeah. And also just taking, like we've explored this new world, if you like, of all these small businesses and not knowing that existed, and that would have definitely given us as a push as well if we'd known that was before. It's like, actually, there is so many people doing things. You don't have to always find your niche. There's people doing very similar things, but it's just their own take on it. And actually just start to explore. If you have an idea and you want to do something, just start to explore what other people are doing around that idea and learn and get ideas, ask for advice. Like we say, we've messaged people on Instagram to say, how did you get this printed? Or where did you find this? Or how did you do that? And people are more than willing to share. And I mean, if anybody wants any advice, they're more than free to contact us on Instagram. But it's definitely that community side of it that's really
it's really lovely, isn't it, as well? Like you said, like I think we spent quite a lot of time researching, even down to the point of like packaging our prints and how to get them out safely to everybody. And then we very much kind of wanted to have like a sustainability, like awareness with it as well. So like all our prints like on recycled paper, and all our packaging is very nearly recyclable. So that was important to us as well. And I think we learned that through kind of researching what other people have been doing and how you can do that. So definitely reach out to people. Like we said, that sense of community is very much there. So even if like you don't know anybody that's kind of started their own thing, reach out to these small businesses because they're so lovely and so helpful.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You're very rarely going to come across someone, are you, that's not going to want to help you. Even with the podcast, you know, we spoke to people that have got their own. There is a sense, like you said, of community where people do want to help and they will offer their advice. And I think that's great advice as well. Just even if you don't have somebody that you're working on a project with, just using somebody as a sounding board and putting it out there is that one step towards just doing it. But it's probably a safer step of talking to people that you love and gauge an idea of what you want to do. And I think it also gives a bit of accountability, because that's one thing I found with me and Jordan. Like I said, this podcast was in talks for a long time before it actually came about. And the same with you two. Yeah, you want to keep it like the passion for it alive and not make it seem like a chore. But I think in order to succeed and to keep that enjoyment, you do have to have a bit of accountability. Because if
completely
get her on the back burner, like, oh, we'll do that tomorrow, or oh, we'll do that whenever.
Yeah, we're lucky enough that we've created this together, so we keep pushing each other, don't we?
Yeah,
to keep going. And like you know, if we've had a tough day at work, sometimes like, oh, we'll just leave it for tonight. And I'm like, no, let's keep going with it. Like we've basically got it all ready to go anyway. Let's just post it, and then you get those likes and you get the comments, and you're like, oh, I'm so glad that we did this. And it's that sense of like real kind of achievement and happiness that goes alongside it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think the day that we actually got to 200 followers, it was just that kind of sense of, I mean, say in the grand scheme of things, with other people it's not a lot, but for us it was just that, I don't know, that little bit of reassurance that actually we're doing something that's okay, that people are liking.
People are liking it.
I mean, the majority of our followers will come from people that we know and actually going on there. But there's some followers that obviously we didn't have any connections to at all.
Yeah.
And it's definitely those small little rewards that keep you thinking, oh yeah, let's do this.
And especially if someone, you know, that you really don't know the person at all, and they bought the print from you, that's really amazing. You're like, this is someone we don't even know. This isn't just one of our really good friends that have bought one of that. Do you know what I mean? Like someone we have no idea who this is. That's really nice, isn't it? That's a real sense of achievement when that happens.
And just that moment of going to the post office and posting it, even though we have the grumpiest post office in the world.
Oh my God.
That kind of moment of handing it over and it's all kind of nicely posted and it's ready to go. It's exciting. It's something you've created that's going out to somebody in the world. It's great.
I mean, it's the fear that it won't get there in a good position. That's always a bit frightening. So we've been really careful on how we package our prints, haven't we? And again, like just generally asking people the best way to get it through Royal Mail in one piece. I think is really important.
Yeah, you forget about probably then launching a business like this, all the little things that need thought about, that they don't get a folded bit of paper through the door.
Exactly. There's a lot of stickers on the front of ours saying fragile, isn't there? Like we've learned from. But to be fair, I don't think we've had any that have been delivered in a bad way. I think they've all got there really safely. So we've obviously done something right.
Well, luckily we've got a regular postman that thinks he can get anything through a tight little letterbox. So we often get cards or parcels that are
squashed,
folded or squashed that he's tried to squeeze the thing. So that actually was like, oh, okay, right. So there will be somebody at the end of this that will try and post it through a letterbox. So,
there's always one.
Let's really think about how to make sure that it gets the same.
All of our birthday cards are normally folded in half, aren't they, when they come through the letterbox? It's just great. So it's like thinking about little details like that, actually, that you maybe wouldn't have considered from the outset. Making sure that, you know, you want this person to get the very best product rather than anything less than that. So, I think there's a lot of work that goes into it, but I think we really enjoy it, and we really make use of the hours that Arthur is asleep now, rather than kind of just sitting on the sofa.
Watching Haunting of Hill House.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, we finished that now, and we're looking at going on to the other one, but we actually feel like we need a bit of a break.
Yeah, I'm not ready to spend an hour sat behind a cushion yet. I think we'll wait for a bit.
Yeah, we'll watch maybe some Christmas films instead.
It really isn't scary, Bly Manor. I'd say they're two different things.
So the Bly Manor is the one that we watched.
Yeah, Bly Manor's the one we watched.
I think it was actually, we started it and we were like, why are we even doing this? Why we just ended up shouting at the screen, don't go down there, don't go down there, don't go down there.
Why have you turned the lights off?
We watched the Hill House one first, and I thought it was horrifying.
I have heard that one is worse.
It is so scary, and so Bly Manor, in comparison, I was like, what a lovely little love story.
We definitely enjoyed it by the end of it, for sure. We definitely did. But it's amazing how it's very clever, because it's very obvious jumps. You know that things are going to happen,
but you're still petrified.
Something's going to happen. Something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Something's going to happen. And then but we really enjoyed it.
You'll both be pleased to hear, and so will Jordan when she listens to this, that prior to this I was actually watching Modern Family.
Oh, good.
What episode was it? I'll know exactly what's going on.
I'm still quite early on. I'm still in season 1. It is taking me a while.
Season 1?
Yeah, but
you've got so much goodness to come.
It was the episode where I don't even really know what happened. Oh yeah, I'm halfway through the one where she meets a friend who is like doing really well in life, and she brags about her family, and then she's bragging about her job and stuff.
Phil's got a moustache and stuck in a portrait, I think.
Oh yeah.
And where the dad and Cam touch butts at the gym.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A moon landing. Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the name. That is literally the name of it, Moon Landing. I just looked.
It's very clever. Some of the little innuendos or little jokes, the word plays that they do.
Yeah. Like you said before, it's like in a previous podcast, it's actually aged reasonably well, because I don't know how old these are now, but they've only just finished filming them, I think. Yeah. That was like series 15 or something.
I think it might have been 2009 it started.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
Very good.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a really good thing just to kind of switch up to and have after, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have it on in the background when we are doing Peepo Prints stuff.
I mean, there you go. Anyone listening, if you're going to dive into your hobbies, it's that balance, isn't it? Work on what you love whilst watching Modern Family.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it won't ever feel like a job if you have the TV on in the background.
Yeah. God knows what sort of prints you'd be making if you were basing them off that.
Yeah.
Well, it's either that or Peppa Pig in this house, so we'll take that.
Yeah, literally. Modern Family or Peppa Pig is all that is ever on our TV. Yeah.
Did you know that, fun fact, the little girl Flora in Bly Manor, do you know she's Peppa Pig?
Is she?
It's the voice actress of Peppa Pig, yeah.
That is a great fact.
I mean, I haven't actually fact-checked this myself, so people listening are probably going to be like, you're wrong. But I'm sure I read somewhere that she's Peppa Pig.
I think she's retired from Peppa Pigging now, isn't she?
Peppa Pigging.
Peppa Pigging. I think she has. She's like, I don't know, like 20 odd or something, and she's retired from doing it.
That's two very opposite roles, but she's very good.
It's very opposite roles.
Yeah, she's very good.
Oh, I like that.
You've got lots of bubbling ideas for the future then? Yeah,
definitely. I think we're always thinking about it. Like, we just, like, over the last couple of weeks, we've just released 2 new prints. We're just waiting for one to come through from the printers. We've got lots of ideas, and we're just trying to work out how kind of far we want to take it. I think one of the first ideas that we had, because of like Arthur's first birthday party and how we kind of started designing the things that we have, was very much about creating like really beautiful invites for children's parties. But, can't really have children's parties right now. So I think, in the future, that will be something that we start doing. And we really like the idea of like, that you could, because we sent all of our invites out digitally, didn't we? So you can have them as digital copies, or we can send out like really nicely printed versions. That was definitely something that we would like to pick up again.
Yeah.
When we actually have these parties.
Yeah. I think it's like we kind of talked about at the start, that we used to, or we still do, create things for people's birthdays and more personalised gifts and stuff. And I think there is definitely an ambition to bring kind of the way that I would create stuff on the computer and actually starting to draw stuff out, and the fact that you're a lot more kind of creative with
more
painting and
hands-on,
stuff.
aren't I? Yeah.
Is there a way that we can bring those two worlds together? And we've talked about what that is and how we can make sure that it sticks within the brand that we're doing. And does that become a bit of painting and a bit of illustration, or is it two separate things that live kind of separately? And I think there's some exciting things that we think we could potentially come up with. It's just trying to make sure that we still fit it within the brand and what we're trying to put across, really.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we're very much like you just said, we're coming up with lots of ideas, but I think we're also pacing ourselves, aren't we, to see kind of how well we're doing at the moment and kind of keep going with it as far as we can.
Yeah. And what things kind of resonate with more people and what things do well. And
yeah, but loads of ideas, definitely.
Good.
Just have to wait and see.
Thank you so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks for having us. It's been really nice to have a good chat about it, actually.
We feel very privileged to be asked. Really,
so privileged.
Some of the podcasts that you've done and the people that you spoke to,
we've only got 200 followers.
It's just
but I think this is such an inspiring podcast, because it's just a real conversation like between us about an idea that you've had, that you've then taken that leap and done it. And Jordan says time and time again, when there's something that you really want to work on or achieve, about that, like going away and doing it for yourselves. And I mean, we all got that notification, Peepo Prints wants you to like the page, and we were like, what's this? So I think that there's a lot to be admired by you both for jumping in and doing it, and I think lots of people will find it really interesting.
Oh, thanks. That's really sweet.
Well, I hope you and Frank keep posting your sweet videos as well.
Yeah, we love watching
those. Fun.
Bad news, guys.
What?
I cancelled the Snack Crate subscription. So, because we've got one more to come, because they're all disgusting. They're all so bad.
That's why it's funny.
But, yeah, exactly. For you guys. We were like, we'll start this off and it'll be a fun way to find new fun foods that we like. And it's just fish after fish after fish.
I can't remember which one it was, but it was definitely one where you were both leaving a certain sweet to the end because it looked horrible, and it actually ended up becoming one of your favourites. And it was just to watch your faces change from this is quite a nice one. The one we just did, we had tuna jerky in it.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, but it actually, like, Frank doesn't like tuna, so he hated it, and I wouldn't choose to eat it. But it wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be. We've had worse.
So have you got any more to come, or is that
There's
done?
One more box to come.
Yes. Okay.
And
where's it coming from?
I don't know. I've no idea. And we do need to do a video of people's like weird snacks that they like, because I did put a thing out a long time ago asking people to send me like weird combinations. You know how people will eat like Christmas cheese?
Yeah.
That is a good idea.
Yeah. So I still get some people say to me, "Why have you not eaten bacon and marmalade yet?" And I'm like, okay.
One thing that springs to mind is the chap that I work with who gave me a bit of advice, and actually it's great advice. If you have scrambled egg on toast, put Marmite on the toast first and then put the scrambled egg on top.
Oh, Marmite.
If you like Marmite, it's good.
Oh,
really good.
If I've ever had Marmite.
Well, there you go. That's one to add.
You always think this isn't a combo, but you always think I'm really weird when I put like a tuna mayonnaise mix on a crumpet, and it's amazing.
Oh no,
it's amazing.
No. On that note, thanks for listening, everyone.
Yeah, we digress a little bit, don't we?
Anyway,
yeah, it was a lot of fun to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you. Really enjoyed it.
All right. And yeah, I'll leave below so your Instagram for everyone to find you is at Peepo Prints.
Yeah, that's the one.
Actually, do you know what? We can't end it without asking, where did the name come from?
We just like playing Peepo.
No.
But is that not Peepo? Peepo? No. Oh, no.
No, company name is Peepo Prints, and it's very much because when we play peekaboo with Arthur, we say Peepo when we find it.
And he says Peepo.
And he says Peepo. Yeah. So that's where it came from.
Yeah.
There we go. But I'll link that all below in all the show notes and stuff, so everyone will be able to find it.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll speak to you all next week. Bye.
Bye.